All right, welcome to the Algebra 1, Chapter 4 video. This is the second review. The first thing I want to talk about is actually not the review, is some formulas that you're going to need to know. Um, Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And then you will also need to know the point slope formula in order to write equations. And you will also need to know the slope formula to actually find the slope if you are given 2 points. So those are three formulas that you need to memorize before your test on chapter 4. And so make sure that you have those for you. So now, using those formulas that we had, and we're given the slope and we're given the y-intercept, so we can go immediately using y equals mx plus b, go straight to the slope-intercept form. Second one, technically you could also do that because you are given the slope and -2 is the y-intercept. Now, some people in my class didn't remember that, so then they used the point slope formula, distributed 1/3, and then subtracted 2. So either way, you will get to the same answer. So if you didn't realize that it was the y-intercept that you were given, you can still use the point slope formula because you are given a point and you're given a slope. Now I have to use the point slope formula. So y minus the y of the point, slope, x minus the x of the point. We're going to distribute that -1/3. And then we are going to add 2 to put it in slope-intercept form. So -1/3 x. Same with the next one, y minus 5 equals slope, x minus 4. Again, using the point slope formula, so you have to have that memorized. Distribute the 2, add 5, and then y would equal 2x minus 3. Again, all the equations that you're going to be writing for this test need to be put into slope-intercept form. Now we're given 2 points, so now I have to use the slope formula first. Again, you're taking one y value minus the other y value, x minus x. So you're getting 12 over -3, so the slope is -4. Then pick 1 point with your slope, and it does not matter which point you would pick, and then do y minus y equals the slope, parentheses x minus x. Distribute the slope and subtract. So y would equal -4x minus 9. Next one, I didn't give myself a lot of room here. I'm going to find the slope. So I'm going to take y minus y over x minus x. I'm going to get 6 over 6, which is a slope of 1. Picking one of the 2 points, I plug it into the point slope formula, distribute the slope. Oops, sorry, adding 2 there. So y would equal x minus 3. More point slope formula. Now we're talking about the word parallel. All right. Anytime you're given the word parallel or perpendicular, you need to understand that you're going to be given something. You're going to need to use that to write an equation. So parallel means same slope. So I look at the original line, and it has a slope of 3, which means the parallel line also has a slope of 3. Now it's exactly what we did previously. Use those 2 pieces of information to write an equation. Notice I did y minus the y of the point equals the slope, parentheses x minus the x of the point. Distribute the slope and subtract. So recapping there, anytime you see the word parallel or perpendicular, in this case parallel means same slope. So take the slope of the original line and use that to write an equation. So again, using the word parallel, the original line has a slope of -1/2. That means the parallel line also has a slope of -1/2. And so writing the equation based on that slope and that point. So distribute the slope And so I get negative 1/2 x. Perpendicular. Now, perpendicular lines have opposite and reciprocal slopes. So if the original line has a slope of 1/3, the perpendicular slope over here is negative 3. Notice it's the opposite sign and the reciprocal. Using those two pieces of information now, y minus 7, so y minus the y of the point, slope, x minus the x of the point, distribute, and add. So the answer to this question is negative 3x plus 1. Again, using the word perpendicular, find the original slope and then find the perpendicular slope. It's opposite, reciprocal. So positive 1/2. If the original line has a slope of negative 2, the perpendicular line has a slope of 1/2. Using the point and the slope, I'm going to write an equation. So y minus 9, I'm going to add 9. I get 1/2 x plus 7. This is exactly the same question we did previously, except this time they're giving you a picture. Now, you can count the slope then, because you have a picture. It goes down 1, to the right 4. So we're talking about a slope of negative 1/4. You could also have used the 2 points and used the slope formula to find the slope. Now, again, you are given a point and a slope. Because you know the y-intercept, you can use that. So I can tell right now that the slope is negative 1/4 and the y-intercept is 3. Or you could use it as a y minus one of the points, x minus the x of the point. Again, all of this is going to get you to the exact same answer of y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. So there's different ways of doing this particular question. Ultimately, you got to put it in slope-intercept form. Same with the next one. Again, you're given a picture, so you can use the picture to find your slope if you want. It goes up 1/4 over 2. So this has a slope of 2. Pick one of the points, y minus the y of the point, slope x minus the x of the point. I'm going to distribute the slope and solve for y. So y equals 2x minus 5. Notice that all of these questions basically have the same style of problem. Now this is a little bit different. This is a trick question. This is designed a little bit differently. I want to find the slope, so that doesn't change. So I'm going to do y minus y over x minus x. So I end up with something over 0, which is undefined. Undefined slopes mean it's an x equals line. And notice that both x values are the same because it's an x equals 5. There'll be a lot of people that will struggle on that one, so please make sure you look that over. The next one's the same way. You're going to have y minus the y over x minus the x. You end up with a 0 on top. That makes a slope of 0. All slope of zeros are y equals lines, and you will notice that the y value is the same in both because it's y equals negative 3. Word problems. There are going to be a couple of word problems. The reception hall charges $120 for the use of the hall plus an additional $25 per hour. Write an equation. So you're going to basically, it's 25x because it's $25 per hour plus the initial cost of $120. Now, find the cost of using the reception hall for 4 hours. So I'm using the equation, and it would cost $220. Again, every word problem deserves a label, so please don't forget to put the $sign. Next one, the senior class is planning a trip to Six Flags. Is buying tickets for a bus for everybody to go. If 40 people from the senior class go to the amusement park, the total cost is $850. If 30 people go, the cost is $650. it's going to ask you to write two ordered pairs. So you're talking about 40, then 850, cost of 850, 30 people, cost of 650. Well, if I have 2 points, it doesn't matter about all the word problem stuff. I can find the slope. I can write an equation. So here we go. Y minus y over x minus x. So it's 20. Now, using one of the points with a slope of 20, I'm going to pick this one. So y minus the y equals the slope, x minus the x. Distribute y minus 650. Adding 650, and I know I'm getting into the next one here a little bit, but y equals 20x plus 50. Now, let's interpret the slope. The slope is how much it's costing per person, and then the $50 is the initial cost, probably for the bus, or how much it's going to cost as we're planning the trip. If nobody goes, that's how much it's going to cost us. So the slope is cost per person, and then the y-intercept is the cost, I would put as is the fixed cost of the trip. So now 25 people are planning on going. So again, 25 times 20 plus 50. So that's 550, running out of space here a little bit, dollars for the cost of the trip. Arithmetic sequences. Now basically you're trying to find the next 3 terms of the arithmetic sequence. You have to find the d value. It's going from -3 to -9 to -15 to -21. So it's subtracting 6 each time. So I continue that pattern of subtracting 6. Next one, it's going adding 4 each time. So again, I continue that pattern by adding 4. Now they're giving you an equation that you're supposed to use. A sub 1 is the first term of the sequence. D is the amount that's the common difference, so it's adding 3 each time. So A sub n equals A sub 1 plus n minus 1 D. Now, I will accept if you leave it this way. Other teachers would like you to simplify, which means you would distribute in the common difference and add like terms. So again, depending on your teacher there, you might be able to leave it in the formula or simplify it. Now they're asking you for a sub 20. So if I'm going to plug 20 in for n, and again, it doesn't matter which equation you use, but a sub 20 would equal 61. Same formula, a sub 1 in this case is 8. Common difference this time is 4. So I have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times 4. Simplified version, you would distribute. So I get 4n minus 4, or 4n plus 4. Now, finding a sub 20, 4 times 20 plus 4. A sub 20 would equal 84. All right, if you are given piecewise functions, now they're basically asking you to plug in the value, and you have to pick which function it goes in. F of -5, okay, means I have to see if it's in the first equation, the second one, or the third function. Since -5 is smaller than -3, I would use the top function. So 2 times -5 plus 6. Notice I used the top function because the value of x that I'm looking for is below -3. And so the answer to evaluating the first one is -4. Now I'm going to put in 6. I'm going to erase this a little bit. 6 is greater than 2. It's the bottom function. So I'm going to plug 6 into the bottom function and get it and evaluate and get negative 17. 1. 1 is in between. It's in this one. It's in between negative 3 and 2. And since there is no variable, the answer is just negative 7. And then the last one is the most complicated of the group. Negative 3 is actually located here. Again, because negative 3 actually equals, its x is between negative 3 and 2, but it's equal to negative 3, then the answer to this is also negative 7. All right, there are two functions in this, so I need two xy charts. The first xy chart will be the top one, starting at 3 and going less. The second xy chart is also starting at 3 and going greater. Now I'm going to plug 3 into the top equation, top function. So 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 1 plus 2 is 3. Because it's an equal to, this would be considered a closed circle. So that is closed because of the equal to line in the domain. Now I'm going to do the next one. 3 going into the bottom function, negative 3 plus 4 is 1, negative 4 plus 4 is 0, and negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. This one is open. It's an open circle. So now I'm able to graph, and I'm going to do different colors for both of these, but I have the point 3, 5, and it's closed. I have the point 2, 4, 1, 3, and I draw my arrow. The second one, I have the point 3, 1, open, 4, 0, 5, negative 1, and this, again, drawing my arrow. You're always drawing your arrow away from the first value. So it's like a ray going away from that first point. All right, that concludes our, oh, no, sorry, scatter plots. One more thing. The table shows the age of a car X in years and the value of car Y in thousands. So this is the value of the car, that's the Y value. And this is the age of the car, that's the X value. And then you're going to make a scatter plot of the points. So I have 1. I'm going to go by every other one, going by halves. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All it does is spread the values out a little bit more. And then going up, I'm going to go by, I'm just going to go by ones. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Whoops, looks like we ran out of room there. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go by threes. 3. So every other one of these is going to be 3. So that'd be 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Looks like that's going to be enough room now for us to get all the way up to 30. So I'm going to graph all those points. So 1, 24, dot, 2, 21, 3, 19, 4, 18, 5, 15, 6, and 12, 7, and 8, and 8, and 7. Now, the next one says to draw a, I'm going to show this and I'm going to go back. Sketch the line of best fit through the bold points from the table. So now, the bold points were supposed to be at 319, so I'm going to make that one just a little bit bigger, and 515 right here. And so you are supposed to draw your line through the bold points. So make sure that you draw it through the bold points. Now I put the bold points on the next one because they're asking me to find slope. So I have the points 319 and the points 515. And I want to find the slope. Going back to the very beginning of the chapter, y minus y over x minus x, I end up getting negative 2 is my slope. Now I'm going to write an equation. So pick one of the points and write an equation in slope-intercept form. So I get y equals negative 2x. I'm going to add 19 plus 25. And now it says write an equation to predict the value of the car after 10 years. All right, so I'm going to use that equation, plugging 10 in for x. And I'm going to say the car should be valued at 5. Now, this is in thousands. And so going back to my previous slide, I probably should label this. This one is value in thousands. And this is age in years. So again, getting more specific on my graph. So if somebody was looking at it, and so going back to what I thought the car should be valued at, I would put 5,000, not just $5. So if you wanted to write it out as 5,000, that's another way of doing it. That should conclude our Algebra 1 review guide. Please make sure you talk to your teachers if you have any questions.